Gotham and Merry Christmas. I hope you're watching Batman. This one's for you.
Control initiated. Parade override engaged.
What the hell was that?
Hey kids, Santa Flash is back.
Bruce, you didn't get him a gift certificate.
No. Cash.
Yeah, can I help you?
Yes. We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
I just said that, Drax.
Jill, there's just no way to explain the devastation right now, as the Life Day Parade turned Christmas Parade turned massacre unfolds before us. Both Life Day and Christmas have been ruined forever by
Data. Hologram. Now.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bat Dance Discussions. And I am really excited for today's stream. Today, Superman is Beautiful at Christmas. And I will explain this title very soon. And thank you all for showing up. Thank you for showing up for the earlier start time. Schedules happen, and I'm really excited to bring this guy on my channel right now. Again, I love having him on. His enthusiasm is so great. And I'm really excited to talk about Superman, the real Superman, Henry Cavill Superman tonight. So please welcome as I bring on Josh Herrea. How are you, man?
What's going on, Bat Dan? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. What's going on, chat? How are y'all?
Yeah, we have a lot of people in the chat today. We got Dennis, the Curly Ray, the Curly Ray. Bleh. And I say bleh, by the way, because of my mispronunciation the first time, not at the Curly Ray directly, just to clarify. We got W. Mir in the chat.
What's going on, buddy?
Zodwriter.
Zod.
Mr. Way.
I know him very well.
Antonio Lopez.
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
CY98.
Good to see you, buddy. Multiverse.
And then we have this other person in the chat right now, Socks Bulletins.
Beautiful, Bat Dan.
Bah, humbug. Anyway, I wanted to kind of explain the title of the stream right now. Why the title of the stream? So, a lot of us were followers of Scooper Supreme Mikey Sutton. May he rest in peace. Was a great friend to us all. And there was a scoop that Mikey Sutton had. This was back in 2021, and he continued this scoop. But he said, Superman is beautiful at Christmas. Man of Steel 2 was going to take place, at least at one point, during the Christmas season. And I thought, we have a big trending event today for Henry Cavill Superman. It is Christmas time. So I could think of no better title for the stream than this one right here, to honor our good friend, Mikey Sutton. And I know he'd be proud of what we've been doing today. So this one's for you, Mikey.
Well said, Bat Dan. Very, very true. All facts. All facts. Have the receipts.
Wonder what... So now... I want to move on to this topic right now. I want to talk about the reason why want to talk about Red One right now is because Dwayne Johnson was the one who tried to bring our Superman back. I know people may not agree with all the artistic choices made with the stream, but he tried to bring our Superman back. And he had a really, and I thought, in my opinion, and by the way, guys, this is spoiler free, so don't worry if you have not seen the movie. You don't need to go anywhere. I mean, not too much to spoil in this movie, honestly, but I wanted to kind of do something for Dwayne Johnson because I thought this was a decent movie. And it's a Christmas movie, too. So basically, the plot of this movie is Dwayne Johnson, head of Santa's security detail, and bounty hunter Chris Evans team up to save Santa Claus, played by J.K. Simmons.
Jim Gordon.
And what up, Integrity? And it didn't do that well in the box office, but it seems to be doing really well on streaming right now. And I think it's really great that it is. I guess, Josh, what are your overall thoughts on this movie?
Shout out to you, Bat Dan. Sorry, I've been, MIA. Been having a lot of stuff going on. And thanks to everyone in the chat who showed up early. I got to see this a while back, and you did as well, and in theaters, right? So we got to see the theatrical version of it. Or did you watch it on Prime?
I did both. I watched it in theaters, and I rewatched it just 2 days ago on Prime.
Awesome. So I got to see it in IMAX back then. And this movie is really good. And actually, I will say my critique, I don't know how you felt about it, but my only critique, honestly, is Do you have to go to a theater to see it? No, it's a streaming movie. It really is, in my personal opinion. But it's a great streaming movie at the same time. And The Rock has posted as of today that it has broken the Amazon Prime weekend records as the most ever views, 50 million global views for the first weekend for an Amazon MGM studio movie. So Black Adam's win.
Let's pull that up actually in a bigger format. So this was the post you were showing, right?
Yep. He just posted that today on Henry Cavill Superman trending day, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
So Black Adam's winning is what all I got to say.
Exactly. And it's just, one thing I really love about this movie was J.K. Simmons as Santa. It's, because he's our Commissioner Gordon, and he's also our J. Jonah Jameson. And it's really funny because, like, the way Jameson is, you wouldn't picture him being a warm Santa, but it's really, no, he really is.
Yes.
And you can tell that this Santa cares about the kids, and it's a very different take. He's not the fat Santa, he's the actual big buff Santa.
Oh, that's my favorite scene. No spoilers, Bat Dan, but when The Rock and Santa Claus are together in the gym in the North Pole. That's my favorite scene.
And yeah, that's a minor spoiler. Basically, I mean, they train, like, Santa works out, so
yes,
that's,
he does. Jack Gordon.
And what I really love too, and this is like a small little detail, but I love Mrs. Claus in this movie too, is that she's not just the relationship reminded me of a lot? It reminded me of Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder in a way. Because you can see that Mrs. Claus in this movie, she's actually, like, Santa cannot do this operation without her. She runs a lot of the operation. She runs simulations. She coordinates stuff. She helps him work out even at one point, and it shows that she's a vital part of this. And she's not, like, in this movie a lot, but it's a small little thing I love about about not just women actually being, like, more than just a love interest, more than just Santa's wife. She's actually an interesting character all on her own.
Yeah, and I think the actress is Bonnie Hunt. I think that's her name. You've seen her before, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and she did great. And I like how, no spoilers once again, but she's used in the plot, her character throughout it. So I liked how she was integrated, and you kind of see the dynamic of Santa's operation as a family, right? Because in the North Pole, it's like a whole operation, and it's very, like you said, it's maintained by Santa. It's done by Santa, but it's maintained by Mrs. Claus, a lot like Zach and Debbie's relationship. So good job, Bat Dan. I did not make that connection until you said that.
Thank you. And I guess, and we also, Dwayne Johnson, he is phenomenal in this movie. He's head of Santa security detail, and there's certain scenes where he takes his job very seriously, but he also loves the kids. And that's what I really love, is they really balance it out really well. Is that, I mean, there'll be some minor spoiler, but basically kids line up to see Santa. Dwayne Johnson inspects the cookies, and then right afterwards, he's dedicated for those kids to see Santa. He's like, you got a very important appointment with Santa, fist bumping them. And it shows how much he cares about the kids, how much he loves his job, and some struggles with his job, we'll say that, but he can tell he cares about the clients, aka the kids. And I really love that. I guess, Josh, what are your thoughts on Dwayne Johnson in this movie?
Yes. Dwayne, I mean, I don't know. I think shout out to the Cool Table. Shout out to Leon and Sky. I think there was a stream recently where Leon mentioned that we need to do a stream about, in my opinion, all this manufactured Rock hate. Like, is he a little bit overexposed? Yes, I do think so. And that's with any actor, right? Like John Cena had that happen too. Like, you just do so much. And The Rock is one of the biggest movie stars, in the world. And does he do the same shtick? Yes. but it works. And in this movie, his character, it just kind of makes sense in my personal opinion. The movie is directed by Jake Kasdan. I don't know if you know the connection, Bat Dan, but shout out to Space-tastic Discussions, because Jake Kasdan is the son of the man who directed, I believe it was Empire Strikes Back.
Really?
Lawrence, or the writer. I'm sorry, the co-writer of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Solo. We don't want to mention that. And Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Bodyguard, Body Heat. Yeah. So Jake Kasdan, son of Lawrence Kasdan, Star Wars. There's a lot of, if you think about it, Bat Dan, Star Wars and Marvel-esque MCU like movies, it's a combination of those two, Star Wars and MCU, in my opinion, mixed with Santa Claus Christmas flavor. So that might not work for everybody, but I think for the majority of audiences who are familiar with those callbacks to like Ant-Man, no spoilers, but you'll get it once you see the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Star Wars, space travel, essentially, then it's all kind of makes sense who the son is related to in the hierarchy of movie cinema.
Hierarchy. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Evans also did a good job too. It's funny because we're so used to him as Captain America, this goody two shoes character, and here he is. He plays a bounty hunter. He plays kind of basically the not most responsible. He's not a responsible person. He's a bit of a deadbeat dad, we'll say that. And it's just such a good job, in his character development in this movie is also, oh, look what you did. Look what you did, Josh.
Hey, if it gets you to check it out, Socks, I will say that, my friend who got me in, that's exactly what she said. She's like, yeah, I can totally see. Once I explained that to her, she was like, oh, duh. It makes sense that it felt like Marvel or a Star Wars movie. I was like, yeah, there's familiar beats in the kind of tone, with the Christmas cheer. So what better thing to watch during the holiday season?
And yes, I would say he's an anti-hero. I guess, Josh, what are your thoughts on Chris Evans' character in this movie?
I mean, he plays basically the Scrooge, right? The Scrooge character, if you think about it. I was a little, like, with his character, I didn't know how they were going to go. I will be honest, that's probably just out of the two characters, like, they're both, great overall. I didn't buy at times that he was the father to the son in the movie at times, but by the end of it, I got it. I was kind of like, okay, but there were certain scenes where I was like, you do kind of seem like you're not really, you're acting, right? But that's just chemistry with a child too. So, I guess it can be a little awkward. At the same time, his story arc makes sense, right? Once you see there's like a prologue of him at young, and then you see him, his introduction had me dying. Like his little bit when he's strolling through the, and just like doing all his shtick. I was just like, I love Chris Evans. I do love Chris Evans. I loved Chris Evans before he was Captain America, as most people know him. I loved him in what's that? The Losers, that DC Comics movie with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Amazing cast in general. And Push, I liked him in Push. So his character here, he's not Captain America at all, right? But it kind of makes the dynamic with The Rock more enjoyable, that he's playing a different douchey character, in my opinion.
I completely agree. And before we wrap this review up, I think her name's Lucy Liu, the director person.
Yes.
I thought she was another great character.
Charlie's Angels. Yes, she's a badass, right? She's like, it's actually a good cast, and it's an ensemble, and I thought they did a really good job, even though it's, in my opinion, a streaming movie. It looked great on the big screen in IMAX. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the action scenes and the CGI, Garcia, the polar bear, looked amazing. So he's one of my favorite characters. I just wanted more of him. More Garcia, hashtag.
Yeah, funny. His name's Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Hiram Garcia.
And just so you know, DC Talk, go ahead and ask your question, but we have to wrap this review up soon because we have a lot to talk about today. So, but still, I think I think the visuals are great. The The comedy's great. Is it this like some phenomenal, groundbreaking masterpiece? No, it's a fun action movie that's very entertaining and did exactly what it was supposed to do. No more, no less. So I highly recommend to see this movie. Support Dwayne Johnson. Support the guy who tried to bring our Superman back and did bring him back for a little bit. So absolutely, this channel will support Dwayne Johnson. And Josh, what would you rate this movie as?
This movie, honestly, like I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like hate it. And I think it's perfect for the holiday season. So I'll judge it as a Christmas movie just because it's unavoidable right now. I'd say it's like for me personally, it was like an 8. It was enjoyable. I loved seeing him and Chris Evans together on screen. It was Black Adam and Captain America, but different personalities, of course, with J.K. Simmons, aka Commissioner Gordon, aka J. Jonah Jameson. So yeah, an 8 for me. What about you?
I would say an 8.59234688592 out of 10. Phenomenal movie, great movie, did exactly what supposed to do, and absolutely support Dwayne Johnson. And no DC talk. I have not seen Carry On Netflix.
I have not either, but I do love Taron Egerton, so I will check it out.
Lots of movies we need to check out. So now, Josh, there's a certain trailer that came out today that we're going to do a trailer reaction for. And I'm really
You didn't tell me this.
I'm really excited for this. This is a movie that's coming out July 11th, 2025. The movie is dedicated to James Gunn's dad.
Oh, this movie.
And it's a superhero movie. And I'm really excited to do a trailer reaction for One Punch Dan. I hope Zod Rider is still in the chat.
What's up, Zod? Shout out to you. Cooking behind the scenes. Fighting the good fight.
So, yeah, let me just get set up real quick. And
what's going on?
I'm sure Zod won't take me down for this. So don't worry about copyright issues here. So let me know, guys, if you can hear this. It's
there
not.
It is.
Mikey verse forever.
So, you're the one they call Necron?
Wow, you sure are perceptive. What gave my identity away?
This conversation is over. Evil. Stop this evil now.
Don't make me hasten your death.
Ooh, what's going on there?
God has given me the power to defeat you.
One Punch Man!
Hey, did you hear music? Because I know my StreamYard is always acting buggy. Okay, good.
Shout out to Zod Rider. Epic cast of One.
Yeah, it's for this amazing cast, this amazing movie that stars both myself and Josh. Good, you made it.
What's up, Zod? Bow, bow, bow. It is, right, Dr. Qatar?
It's a much better trailer than that other one that came out that we're not going to cover today. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
But it is. And, and this is all Zod Rider. Zod Rider did all the work for this. Even though I say Josh and I are in this movie, he cloned our voices for this. Josh is doing Zod is doing all the work for this. And I'm really excited for this movie that's coming out in the summer. And we're going to support this movie. Believe it or not, is that this channel is going to support One Punch Dan.
Oh, yes, we are. July 11th, 2025. Let's go. Hashtag One Punch Dan.
Exactly. And before we move on, it's a short trailer, so we're going to react to this one more time.
Do it. Pow, pow.
And let me just see if I can adjust my settings so that I actually... Okay, too much effort.
It's epic, One Punch Dan. The score. Shout out to Mikey Sutton.
Oh, you're the one they call Necron?
Wow, you sure are perceptive. What gave my identity away?
This conversation.
Bishop!
Don't make me hasten your death.
Necron, I guess we're enemies now.
Ooh, what's going on?
God has given me the power to defeat you.
Yeah, look at that. God, right.
The visuals of this movie are great. Exactly. This is still, this still looks way better than that other trailer we got today. And I love the visuals. I love the characters. I'm excited to see why Necron and I are fighting. That's one's going to be really interesting. I still can't wait till I kick your ass in this movie, though. Just Josh.
One Punch Dan. We'll see. We will see in July 2025.
But still, again, great visuals, great acting, I'll say, from the AI. And I'm really excited to support this awesome movie that's coming out very soon. And I'm a little biased because I'm going to star in this, but still, really excited.
Hype. Hashtag hype.
Okay, fair enough, Zodwriter. We'll see.
The plot thickens.
So anything else you want to say before we move on to our next topic?
No, I just shout out to Zodwriter. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel to check out the up and coming drops for One Punch Dan, and they're only going to ramp up from here. This was just like phase 1, I feel like. And yes, the Just Josh TV show is going to be fire.
Yeah, it won't be as good as One Punch Dan, but I'm still going to check that one out.
Same. I'll check out your movie, I guess.
And now, Warhammer. We're going to get into some Henry Cavill now. So, another Amazon franchise is Warhammer's finally getting started. So, let me just share my screen again. Present, share screen, and Instagram. Henry Cavill. To celebrate some Warhammer news, I decided to make a pilgrimage to the very place I bought Warhammer models over 30 years ago. The little shop on my home island of Jersey. And by the way, guys, I am not going to attempt to do a British accent because it will not turn out well if I do that. Anyways, my incredible team and I, alongside the brilliant minds at Games Workshop, have been working away in concept rooms, breaking down approaches to the enormity and magnificence of the Warhammer world. Together, we've been sifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over old tomes and texts. Tomes? That's the word? Okay, anyway. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe, which has been agreed upon by those up on high at both Amazon and Games Workshop. The starting place shall, for now, remain a secret. Watch this space, though more to come in time. Hashtag Warhammer, Prime Video, Amazon MGM Studios, and Warhammer Official. Finally, after much teasing... Yeah, we'll get into that. Don't worry. But after much teasing, we're finally getting some traction with the Warhammer series. I guess, Josh, how do you feel after reading that post?
I mean, let's be honest. The world loves Henry Cavill. And I think most people, regardless of how you feel about certain roles that he's played, him as a person is beloved as an actor. People just love the guy, right? And so you always want to see the man succeed. And of course, he's succeeding. And I honestly don't know a lot about Warhammer. It was something I actually was going to start like getting into and reading up on. And then when I found out how the mythology, how massive it was, I was kind of like, I actually want to go in and be surprised. I think I will probably inevitably, start learning stuff here and there as we get into marketing, but I kind of want to go in cold and just be blown away. And that's the little that I know about it, I kind of am excited about, because a lot of stuff I know about already when I go, of course, being a comic book fan or a genre fan, I want to kind of be surprised. And who else better to be in a giant epic franchise with mythology that we like to see than one of my favorite actors, Henry Cavill. So I'm excited about that. And I've been hearing a lot of anticipation from my Comic-Con friends, people who love video games, people who love mythology. So I'm so super hyped. What about you?
I'm really excited for this because when Henry Cavill gave us the bad news that he was no longer going to be Superman after he announced his return, it was either the next day or the day after he already got this franchise that started with Warhammer. And it shows the persistence of Henry Cavill as an actor. You know, everyone was so worried. He quit Witcher and then lost his role as Superman. And he gets a new franchise, one that he's passionate about, one that he has creative control over. And we've been waiting to hear news about it for so long now. And finally, something's happening again at Amazon, which is Red One and Warhammer. So, but we still support another streaming service for another franchise to continue. But anyways, I'm really excited that that his franchise start because again, I don't know anything about Warhammer like you. I know nothing about Warhammer, but I'm going to support it because it stars Henry Cavill, and I want to support our Superman because right now, I guess he has Voltron also started filming too, which also going to check that one out too. But right now, it's Voltron, Warhammer, and Highlander.
Yep.
Those are the three franchises that he is confirmed for right now. I know we know that he is likely and will be in a certain franchise on Netflix, Rebel Moon Part 3, but that's not officially confirmed yet. So, and oh yeah, Highlander's gonna be epic too, and I know nothing about Warhammer. I've never played Warhammer, so.
But even though we aren't familiar with it, Dan, we know as a world, as a collective, that Henry Cavill is like the ultimate nerd, right? So anything that he loves, we know. Like look at The Witcher, right? And how much he fought so much for it that he ended up having to leave the role because it was going in a direction that wasn't the character or the lore would go. So we know, in my opinion, me and you, that we're going to be along for the ride because we know that Henry Cavill is going to make sure that it's amazing. And if he's not, then he's not going to be in it. So I have that integrity and that trust in Henry Cavill. So I think we both do. So we're along for the ride, right?
Exactly, Josh. Exactly. And again, Witcher, he didn't just leave because of Superman. He left because they weren't giving him creative control.
Oh yeah.
So now he finally has a franchise where he has creative control right now, and Netflix does have a chance to make it up to Henry Cavill. So Netflix, hope you're watching because there is an opportunity for you here to make it up to. I mean, I guess he's doing an Enola Holmes 3.
Yeah, I mean he just was that showrunner, is from what I heard. And you can kind of look at Bo DeMaio's kind of things that he said and stuck up for Henry Cavill, and yeah, go from there. Writer of season 1, Witcher,
and also writer of X-Men 97. So, but I'm just really excited to see Henry Cavill get more work as an actor because all that will do is raise his stock and make him more in demand and will make people more interested in other projects he's in. So really excited for this, and I'm so thankful that he has all this right now. So much good stuff for Henry Cavill, and again, I think it's always important that yes, the role I care for him about the most is Superman. I'm not going to lie, but it's so important that we support his other franchises, his other projects. That's very important. So best believe that this channel will support Warhammer. So be on the lookout for more to come. And then, yeah, Rebel Moon. So,
oh, yeah, definitely.
And now, why we love Henry Cavill as Superman. So, now this is just an appreciation for Henry Cavill as Superman. So, Josh, I'll start with you. Why do you love Henry Cavill as Superman?
So Superman, just speaking candidly and honestly, like Superman was not my favorite, right? I'm a Batman guy, of course. And you're Bat Dan, so admittedly, I think we know what you're wearing, and we have a little BBS thing going on. I don't know if y'all got it, but just as we will in One Punch Dan. But we love Superman, right? He is the daddy of all superheroes, and the template he is, big blue, the red, the costume, the trunks, and everything, right? And there are so much history in the 80 plus years that he's been around with Batman. So much so that we've evolved to a point, right, where the Superman who just, okay, he just kind of starts flying, and then you don't know what's he doing, and he can just do anything. He can make up superpowers like, the Christopher Reeve version did, had vision that could fix walls, and had, some kind of like shield and little things like that, right? A beloved Superman. However, as the world grows darker and we're in a post 9/11 world, there's realism, right? Our sense of safety and, right, our vulnerability has been exposed. So therefore, it would make sense when you have a Man of Steel, if he were to come into our world and our society, how does Superman exist in the modern day? And a particular filmmaker, Zack Snyder, gave us that, right? And we've gone over this before. I was perfectly honest, as somebody who, my first Superman theatrical experience was Superman Returns. I did get so hyped for that movie, and I loved that it was calling back to the Christopher Reeve films, because that's what the general public knew. But let's be honest, it did not deliver on what I wanted to see as a Superman fan. Having, at that time, that came out in 2006, and Smallville was going on, right? And at the time, we both were fans of that show, right, when it was playing. Yep. And I will be honest, I still am a fan. Don't really like the cast members, vocal opinions, but they're human. So everyone has a butthole and an opinion. So I was expecting a different type of Superman from Man of Steel, but Man of Steel gave me everything that Superman Returns did not. And we evolved to that point in 2013. And I was blown away. Most people were blown away to the point where they were shook. Their version of Superman that wasn't supposed to be as realistic as it was, and there weren't supposed to be casualties, and Superman's not supposed to, have to make that type of decision because Zack Snyder put him in a compromising decision. And no, Zack Snyder was giving us a Joseph Campbellian epic, which just so happens to be the Superman, which he deserves, the ultimate Christ-like figure. And so I'll be honest, my school teachings helped me understand why Zack Snyder had to take this character in the direction that he did with Man of Steel and the Snyderverse. And it continued to evolve in BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And let's be honest, no other actor looks just like the Superman panel other than Henry freaking Cavill. I'm sorry. I love Dean Cain. I loved, Tom Welling. I love Christopher Reeve. I've watched some of George Reeve stuff. I love the Fletcher ones, right? The Fletcher cartoons even. But realistic wise, just like Batfleck, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Superman is ripped from the pages. Zack Snyder saw that, has always had an eye for casting, and gave us the ultimate comic book epic hero brought to life. And that is why I love him so much, because his character evolution has shown he has grown to that Superman. And that arc is not fully over. There's still more to that story. And that is why we fight for this particular version, Henry Cavill Superman.
Well said, Josh. Well said. And I love your passion in this. I love your passion when describing Henry Cavill Superman. And I love this guy as Superman too. Because I'll be like you, Josh, I thought Superman was a little overrated before Man of Steel. I mean, I love Smallville too, even though the cast sucks as people right now. I just say I don't think it's professional to throw iterations at other professionals. Let's just say that. At least to go out of your way to do it, especially. So, anyway, that's that. I really, when I saw Man of Steel, this was Superman to me. This movie was Superman to me. Seeing someone who actually goes through the struggles of being Superman, of being an alien from another planet, and his whole arc in Man of Steel, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's a great arc where he slowly progresses to become the hero that we know as Superman. This is a Superman who, despite the public hating him, Josh, the public wanted him gone. They were like, go home, go home. He sacrificed himself to save the world. He did that. Superman did that. That is a true Superman. And when he comes back and is brought back to life, this is a moment, Josh, where I'm like, this is Superman right here. When Steppenwolf hits him with the axe and Superman says, not impressed. And he blows ice breath on the axe, destroys the axe, and kicks Steppenwolf's ass to that score. In that moment there, Josh, the exact shot is when after he kicks Steppenwolf and has the heat vision eyes. To me, that is Superman. That is the Superman that we know. He went through a journey to become the hero that we know as Superman, and inspired the Justice League while doing it. His death inspired Batman to form the Justice League. Superman's first flight, he had a real reaction to actually being able to fly. Like, this would be an amazing feeling to actually be able to fly, and like you're doing it. You're actually doing it. That feeling. Henry Cavill is such a good actor, and the way, and it's not just that, Josh. It's his mannerisms outside of Superman, how he behaves, that makes me go, this is Superman. When he says he refuses to take drugs, and because he says that kids watch him, and he's also talked about that kids watch him, and when they see him, they don't see him as Henry Cavill, they see him as Superman. So he wants to be a good role model for kids. He knows that's a responsibility. He takes the role seriously. When a little boy got made fun of because he kept telling everyone his uncle was Superman, like the teachers, I think, were even mean to him, the students were mean to him, his mom called her brother-in-law to take him to school. And you know who that man was who took the guy who took his nephew to school? Henry Cavill. So all those teachers, all the students had to suck it and eat their words. That boy was not a liar. His uncle was, in fact, Superman. And that's just why I love him. I know I can't always go as articulate as Josh. Like, I just go on different rambles, but still, I love this man as Superman. He is a great actor. He's a phenomenal actor, and he cares about the role as Superman. And we'll get more into his future as Superman because we're fighting for it. This is what we're fighting for. There's an arc that needs to be finished. But I'll tell you right now, this is my Superman. This guy embodies Superman. Seeing the real struggles, actually going through the struggles. Absolutely. Yes. And now I want to do another appreciation post. Jesse Eissenberg, because there was a little clickbait article that came out that Jesse Eissenberg said it ruined his career as the Backlash to BVS ruined his career, and that, I don't know, that seemed very, like, the timing of that article was very suspicious, if you ask me. But I'm gonna get hate for this. Jesse Eisenberg, to me, is the best version of Lex Luthor we've had. Because he is the smartest version of Lex Luthor we have. He is always 10 steps ahead of everyone. Is that his whole plan? Like, put like this, he outsmarted Batman, and this is the only version of Lex Luthor that I'm actually okay with doing that. Because if any other version of Lex Luthor did that, Michael Rosenbaum, Clancy Brown, if they outsmarted Batman, I'd be like, bullshit. But the way that Jesse Eisenberg's portrayed is that he comes off as this. He plays crazy, guys. He's not actually crazy. He plays crazy so people underestimate him. And yeah, the critics did.
Yep.
But he found out Superman's identity. He found out Batman's identity.
Bishop, my partner. Shout out to you.
Shout out to Bishop. And like Henry Cavill Superman, he was going through an arc too. Is that you see him with the red hair that he has in the comics, that he starts out with in the comics, and then shaves his head. And then in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he seems a lot more composed. He seems a lot more. He started to be more. In my opinion, Josh, he becomes more traditional than like what people really want as Lex. He slowly becomes that, and you see that in Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end when he hires Deathstroke to kill Batman. I love this guy as Lex Luthor, and I hope he comes back too. I hope that, like, F that reception. You're a Lex Luthor, man, and you have a story to finish just as much as Henry Cavill does. I guess, Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, let's see, do I not have it? Jesse Eisenberg, oh, I do have it, is in a Oscar-winning or Oscar-nominated movie called A Real Pain, which I haven't seen yet. My friend just gifted me some merch that she got for free by going to a screening, and she encouraged me to see it because of the performance that Jesse Eisenberg did in that, and with Kieran Culkin as the other actor who's being critically acclaimed. And yeah, most people know Jesse Eisenberg is amazing as an actor. And the thing that I think that some people just need to kind of grow up and, you know, let's be honest, Jesse Eisenberg was, I don't know if you, I've never asked you this, but have you seen The Social Network, Bat Dan?
I have not seen The Social Network. I know he plays Mark Zuckerberg in that movie, right?
Yes. And a lot of people thought it was too on the nose to cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, thinking that Zach was trying to go for like a Mark Zuckerberg type commentary and stuff. And does that make sense in my opinion? Yes, it does. Considering if you know your comic books, Superman Birthright, these are pictures. It's kind of blurry, but there's panels of that comic, and you can look them up on Twitter. And Jesse
Let
Eisenberg.
me blow you up a little bit.
I think my camera has a hard time. I think it's maybe too bright, but
yeah, it doesn't always do a good job with like images. Like, I know what you mean. Like, it doesn't always work that well.
The point is that it's very much inspired by that comic book if you did your research. So I loved the new approach to Lex. And was I expecting something like in line with, you know, looking more like Lex? Yes. And I was also wanting Superman's arc at first, when I first watched Man of Steel, to wind up in a different place than I did. But once I stepped back and remembered, oh yeah, the movie's called Man of Steel. This is the first start to a universe that encompasses a Justice League. We got a little bit of sprinkled about, you know, breadcrumbs of the larger DC universe, right? With the Wayne tower, the Wayne satellites and the Lex, construction, Easter eggs and whatnot in the semi. But this was a Lex that was starting out. So of course he had his hair, and we were going to figure out why he was going to evolve into that iconic supervillain for Superman, just like there it is. Yep. There it is. So you know what I'm talking about when it comes to the comic book accuracy and the look of a younger Lex Luthor who is in line with the character because he hates this alien being so much. He's xenophobic. He's very much a xenophobe, and that's Lex Luthor. He thinks he's the savior, and he has one of my favorite lines. And I quote Lex all the time because I just, he wins. He wins. So you got to admire that. I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin. And there are a lot of people who, have certain opinions about certain people. So it makes sense in the world that we live in why a villain could be so motivated out of hate and disdain for something that's other, in my opinion. And one reason why I think Lex is one of the greatest villains, in my opinion, honestly, because he gets one over on Batman. And I think a lot of people did not like that in BVS. And I kind of had my opinions about it at first too. But once I stepped back and saw how he did it and the state that Batman was in because of what had happened in his, career in this universe, it all made sense that Lex would be able to prey on that vulnerability with the help of a certain clown prince of crime, from what I understand, which we didn't see in BVS.
Sin Havoc, can you comment more about what Josh just said right there?
Anyways, I think that people underestimated the character that Jesse Eisenberg was in the film, and when he won, it was a little shocking, and people didn't like that. And of course, what happened to Superman? But I think Jesse Eisenberg deserves his props. He won, and then ultimately, 2 months after BVS comes out, a movie which pretty much stole that whole script, right? Getting the heroes to fight each other, masterminding. That character's arc was clearly, in my opinion, a ripoff of something that we had just saw in March 2016. So I didn't really buy that character's villain arc at all. And I think Jesse Eisenberg deserves his props for being the better one of those two, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely. And I agree with you, Sox and I, when we review that other movie, it's gonna be a battle, Josh. I'll tell you right now.
It'll be a civil war.
But yeah, it's what you said. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, the only one who succeeded in his mission of killing Superman. And also, this line I love too. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good, and neither can you.
Yep.
It's like they explain Lex Luthor's motivations. The whole movie is about people hating Superman because he's an alien. And so the ultimate bad guy hates Superman for being an alien. He's the one who wants the power. Doomsday is okay because he made Doomsday. So it's okay for him to be powerful, but not other people. So, exactly. So, Jesse Eisenberg is our Lex Luthor. He did not deserve any of the hate. And to be quite honest, especially the way Michael Rosenbaum has been commenting on it lately, too, his Lex Luthor has become overrated. And look, I normally am not a big fan of putting other actors down to prop up other actors. But when they engage in negative comments towards other actors who play their characters, they're fair game, in my opinion. That's the way I look at that. Like, I have no issues. Like, I have no reason to throw shade at Clancy Brown, or because I loved him as Lex Luthor, and you know what? He has kept his mouth shut. He has not thrown needless shade at other actors. So he was a phenomenal Lex Luthor. And guys, acting weird does not automatically make you the Joker. People keep saying he's the Joker. It's like, no, he acts weird. That's not the Joker, people.
And I never got the commentary about him. Oh, like he was more like the Riddler. No. Did he have hair that was a little kind of not really similar to the long hair Jim Carrey in Batman Forever? I guess you could make that connection, but no. Watch the freaking movie. He wasn't the Riddler. He was freaking Lex Luthor. And if you watch Zack Snyder Justice League, you got Lex Luthor. I mean, shout out to Jesse Eisenberg, who gave us that iconic, the bell cannot be unrung. Ding, 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 ding. Because he's right. Lex wins. He rings the bell. And Lex kind of has a hand in helping the Justice League come together. So thanks, Lex.
Inadvertently, that's exactly what he did. And now, why we fight. So let's share this again. Okay. Remember this day, Josh. 2 months after Henry Cavill announced he was back as Superman. And, first I saw Gunn's post about, oh, yeah, well, we're still going to work with Cavill. Yeah, it's all good still, guys. And then, I don't know what actually came out first. It's just the order I saw those posts in. We see this post from Henry Cavill himself. You know this post. We know exactly this post. And I'll tell you, Josh, when this post came out, I was upset. I was really upset, is that our Superman was fired. yes, he was fired. Whether James Gunn tries to say it or not, he was absolutely fired as Superman. And I was upset. Like I was up late, Josh. I got like an hour of sleep that night because something that I've been fighting for seemed to be over. And before the Cell campaign came out, I was all fire James Gunn. It was kind of like, remember in Ant-Man 3 how Ant-Man says, I don't have to win, we both just have to lose?
Yes, sir.
Now, granted, that trailer hadn't come out at the time, but that was basically my logic. Was that no more Snyderverse, it can't happen now, so I want James Gunn to fall with it. That was basically my logic with that. But then, Sky showed us a better way, but this was why we fight, because Henry Cavill was done dirty. He was absolutely done dirty. Is that he was told to announce he was back as Superman, and then they told him 2 months later, nope, not happening. And we've seen this post a million times. I don't need to keep sharing it, but basically, and this is why, Josh, this is why I cannot support this other Superman movie right now, because it came out in bad faith. Because you told Henry Cavill to announce he was back, and then you rebooted. You're doing this multiverse. I mean, reality is, James Gunn, what he should have done was greenlight ZSJL 2 and 3 as an Elseworlds, and given Cavill other Elseworld projects like Red Sun, Black Adam v Superman, The Dark Knight Returns, Kingdom Come. They could have done so much with Henry Cavill as Superman while James Gunn did his own thing. That very easily could have happened, but his ego was more important than anything. And I cannot, because I was disrespected as a fan. You told us we were getting what we wanted, and then you took it away from us. You made a promise to your fans, and you went back on it. That is not okay, guys. That is not okay what happened at all. That's disrespectful, and we are the consumers. We decide what products we want to see, not the studio. So this is why we fight. Justice for Henry Cavill. Because people keep trying to say, oh, he won't do it anymore. He has Warhammer. He has Highlander. Yeah, it's like, we're not asking Henry Cavill to come back for like 5 or 10 more movies as Superman. The main ask is ZSJL 2 and 3, people. One production back-to-back, and he can finish his story. Away from Warner Brothers, at Netflix. Justice for Cavill, so that announcement can finally be paid off. So Henry Cavill has a chance to finish his career as Superman on a high note, to be able to look back and say, this was my story. It was a great story. It was a complete story. He deserves that. And look, it's not our job to figure out his schedule. That's his job to figure out. We are going to ask for what we want. Let Cavill, Netflix, Zack Snyder, Warner Brothers, whomever, work out the details that need to be worked out. Whatever details Cavill needs to come back, give it to him. But that's not our job as fans. But this is why we fight. Justice for Henry Cavill. Because that kind of behavior should never happen from a studio. And that's why, I'm going to say that because that's going to kind of come in a later topic. Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I mean, you did great, Matt Dan. I mean, because of that post that you just showed, right? As crushing as it was, something amazing and wonderful came out of that, right? Hashtag sell ZSJ to Netflix. Hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Shout out to Skywalker the Jedi and Apex Leon of the New Geeks, right? Who, brought together the Cool Table, and shout out to Good Austin and El Necron and all the others who contributed to the, hashtag Sell campaign, right? Because let's be honest, whether or not you agree with everyone who's part of this movement or not, this is a good idea. And it was thinking outside the box after we had no hope, we had no direction, after Cavill basically telling us what happened, which is what Sin Havoc said in the chat earlier. We all knew as fans what happened. James Gunn fired Henry Cavill. James Gunn sat down Ben Affleck and said, hey, you can be in this, but this is what I'm doing. And Ben Affleck said, no, I'm not going to be in that, because he knows.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. James Gunn fired Gal Gadot. Wonder Woman, our Wonder Woman. Fired Ezra Miller, fired, Jason Momoa, fired Ray Fisher, fired our Justice League, stole, stole basically the universe and the hope that we had. And he knew what he was doing by publicly having Cavill, our Superman, say that he was fired, essentially, in coded language. He was trying to kill the universe. I got to kill Superman, so I kill that universe, so I can have my reboot that nobody asked for, or retcon. And the hashtag Cell movement came out of that and brought us together. Right, Batdan? So this past year, getting to know you guys, and it's all because of the hashtag Cell movement. That's the whole reason I'm on this stream right now. We're celebrating, Superman Christmas, hashtag Henry Cavill Superman, is because of that post, if you think about it. So thank you, James Gunn, for bringing us together, because, we are united and we are fighting for hope because we love this stuff. It means something to us. This symbol means something to us. People, have been so motivated and inspired that we've helped save lives for our AFSP charity work, right? We know what happened with Zach and the wrong that was done and the injustice. We're a different kind of fandom, in my opinion. We don't just oh, well, that corruption happened. Oh, well, we stand up and we fight. We get stuff done. We got the Snyder Cut released. No matter what you say about this fandom, we are already going down into the history books, okay? So everything on top of that, and the hashtag Cell movement is just, the cherry on top, because we have done something even crazier, which has gone outside of the studio and gotten stuff done. And our work and our dedication and our support for AFSP have all caused enough noise to get, so much accomplished that I never imagined would have happened in 2022 when that post came out. We've accomplished wonders. We've done what Superman is doing, right? And it's all because we work together as a Justice League. And thank you for everyone who's continuing to rock out and not losing hope. If you give up and you stop fighting and you move on, you're just watching stuff that you don't believe in. Why are you wasting your time? So are you really a fan? Because these are the real fans that are fighting for hope. So thank you to everyone who's continuing to keep hope alive.
Exactly, Josh. Exactly. And good, Austin, I'll tell you this right now. So the title Superman is Beautiful at Christmas. I will say, if we get Man of Steel 2, and it does take place during Christmas, like Mikey Sutton scooped, I may ask you to slightly redo that Christmas intro then. Because there's no way we could leave that movie out. So, but
True.
that's a lot of ifs we have to get through. So, but that is why we fight. And in fighting, I want to pull this up. So, gosh, their StreamYard is so bad at changing the thumbnail. There we are. So today's trending event. So yesterday, I'll admit, I did say when I was doing my watch party for Merry Little Batman that I would use the Cell hashtags. That was half true, but that was before Skystream, or I guess it was technically during Skystream. But basically, I saw afterwards that the hashtags were Henry Cavill Superman and Cell Snyderverse to Netflix. And look, we are campaigning, okay? We're not being nice to studio heads that aren't nice to us. Well, eventually you will be able to. Not right now, since that footage doesn't exist. And just so people know, I'm a big smartass at times. I'm a very big smartass, but thank you, Austin. I know I can count on you. But anyways, it's done some great numbers. So I want to pull this up, guys. Because I kind of was pulling this up recently because I want this to be as current as possible. And this is the entertainment, guys. This is not me. This is not me. This is not for me. This is trending in entertainment right now. Above Nathan Fillion, who was in that other trailer, above Hawkgirl, who was in that other trailer. 25.5 thousand or 25,500. That's how you read that. Yeah, that's post for Henry Cavill Superman. Just look at that right. Look at that right here. There we are. This is something. This right here. This is a really important thing because we're showing the studio heads what we actually want, what we're actually interested. Another Superman trailer released today, and I want to pull this back up actually. And let's show that up. I'm not always the best tech person, people, so apologize. This is what is trending right now. Henry Cavill Superman. Our Superman is what's trending.
Yes, sir.
And this happens, guys, for all the great work that we did, for showing the demand, the passion for what we actually want. And it takes Josh, love that shirt.
Had to bust out the team. Felt fitting.
Yeah, we are. We got 2 Batmen, me and Leon, or Leon and myself. We got a Flash. What up, Jamar?
What's up, Jamar? Good to see you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it should have been. The fact is, another Superman trailer released today, and this is what's trending right now. This shows the studios this is what we want to see. This, because I've always said you cannot disrespect your fans and expect us to just take it. We're not going to do that. I guess, Josh, seeing this, how it's been doing today, what's your thought on today's trending events?
Well, it goes to show, actually, since Monday, we've been trending. Because, everyone wanted to announce something on Monday, that there was a motion poster, which looked like it was ripped off from a iconic film that we had just talked about, Man of Steel. And then, there was more coverage on Tuesday, and there was more coverage on Wednesday with a 30-second cheap-looking trailer, in my opinion. And we as a fandom, we have integrity. Like I mentioned earlier, we care about this stuff. It's not just all these words and all this philosophy and this Joseph Campbellian epic storytelling that Zack Snyder and a team of artists put together for us with very meticulous detail that homages iconic characters and the source material. Like, we don't just drink Granny's peach tea. We stand up for what we believe in, and we do it positively, right? And I would say majority of people, you had your chance. And I'll be honest, I think these numbers just show people love this man, okay? This man who started a universe and everything that came out of it, this league, it brought us together. Everyone in this chat right now is here because of this art. And not only did hashtag Henry Cavill Superman trend, there's so much other stuff that trended. Dan Snyder was trending. Zack Snyder was trending. Man of Steel today was almost in the top 10. I don't know if it was exactly at the 10. I saw it when it was like 15 and then 12. And Snyderverse was trending. Hashtag sell Snyderverse Netflix was trending. Restore was trending. Henry Cavill was trending. Like, everything was trending in response to something lackluster that the fans didn't want to see. And if you are a fan of that and you're excited for that, great. However, burying your head in the sand, saying that this universe is dead, you're literally being delusional, okay? This fan base will not let it die, okay? And we're not going anywhere. Zack's not going anywhere, right? So whether or not we get what we want and we're campaigning for does not change the fact that your product, DC, that you delivered is not being met with the greatest reception. And it's pretty obviously. I don't blame any of the actors for being in it. I don't blame people who made the movie who have to work in a post-COVID society. The behind-the-scenes drama cannot be ignored, in my personal opinion. It's blatant. this filmmaker's behavior, it's black and white what is going on. The fans know it. We are not stupid. We're not just sheep. We've seen 300 and we have art to motivate us to keep fighting for something iconic. And I'm so proud of y'all. I just really want to say, like, I've been so motivated by everyone just at the drop of a hat, you know, on Monday starting to trend and continuing to trend to this day as of that moment. Like we're reporting that live, Bat Dan, right? Like on Twitter. Like it's currently, that's what I've been doing when I'm looking down. I'm looking at my phone and on Twitter, engaging, because we're so passionate. And that's why we're reporting on this, you know, just as fans and what we feel. Like I see a certain hashtag having been promoted as hashtag Superman, but I see a lot of other ones because they're making a statement that they are not happy with that hashtag, what is under that. And I think we are moving mountains behind the scenes. And that's why certain people had to say what they had to say, because they're telling us you're causing noise and they don't like that you're causing noise. That's the power of this fandom. So shout out to the people who let us know that our campaigns are working.
Okay, Josh, on the count of 5, on the countdown to 5, you know what to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Oh!
Yes, sir. We're the fandom. We are the fandom, and everything's trending right now. So shout out to y'all. Keep up the great work. Let's continue to trend all 2024 and all 2025 and beyond. This is just the start of an amazing, super Christmas time.
Exactly. And Josh, thank you for also telling me some of this other stuff, because I work today. People may have seen me active on Twitter. That's because last night I was up late scheduling tweets for the morning, and during my lunch break, I scheduled tweets all for the afternoon. So I didn't really get a chance to actually be on Twitter that much. I would just go on Twitter, read some posts real quickly so I don't have like 100 notifications afterwards. But thank you, Josh, or Austin. Thank you, Austin. Exactly, guys. I'm 5 away until I'm monetized. So be on the lookout for that. So if you have not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. But anyways, I didn't really see all this stuff because I did my scheduled tweets to be active, to be part of this event, and then I got ready for the stream. So I really appreciate you. I really appreciate what you added, Josh, because that's really important to show that we decide what we are interested in. We are the fans, and we made noise today. We made a statement today on a day that should have been somebody else's big day. This should have been somebody else's big day. And we do not bend the knee. You know, I kind of did my rant about David Ayer yesterday and disappointed in him, but hey, we met you halfway, dude. We're not trending the Ayer cut today. So we met you in the middle. But this was a great day. Today was a great day. And every day is our big day.
Yep. We can trend at the drop of a dime, specifically hashtag Celsius Jet to Netflix, South Snyderverse to Netflix. We as a community, when we focus on something, it's just amazing what we're doing. And we are going down in the history books, guys. Your passion, your dedication, your resolve, it's just like Zack Snyder. And I think that is worth, commending you guys, the real Justice League.
And it's funny, Josh. There's a lot of people who are very against our campaign. So I want to pull up a post, but this wasn't on the actual trending day, the official trending day. This was earlier this week, though. There's a post I had that got so much, like people were really upset about this post.
You've got some engagement, Bat Dan. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was shocked at all these people at this post. So
I was proud of you. I was proud of you. I was like, you go, Bat Dan, get those bots. One punch, Dan.
So, yeah, so let me just show this, and I'm not going to show the specific comments because I don't really want to give them engagement, but I will show the post that this was on. And right here, this post, Henry Cavill is my Superman until his story finishes and not before. And this, I mean, this got 1K likes, 306 retweets, 282 comments. I mean,
Batman, your phone. I want to see your reaction. Your phone just going.
I mean, it kind of was gradual. It wasn't like I got them all at once, but still, just over time, seeing, wow, more comments. And what up,
Danger.
There you are, Danger. And it's crazy. It's like all these people are so offended that we're campaigning for our Superman to come back. And you know what's funny? The Cell campaign isn't even asking for this other movie to fail. I mean, if it fails on its own merit, not because of asking for the Snyderverse. Because, I mean, could you imagine if Infinity War, again, I know Infinity War and Endgame were filmed back to back, but just pretend for a moment. Infinity War happened, it ended on a cliffhanger, and then they rebooted. There would have been backlash for that, especially if, let's say, they had I don't know, let's say it took them 2 years and then Robert Downey Jr. is like, hey guys, it's happening. I'm back as Iron Man. And then he had to say, oh, I'm not coming back after all. There would be backlash.
Exactly.
So why, I guess it's just the backlash is just so weird against this campaign because it's like, again, we're not asking for the movie to fail. We want our story to be properly finished. And it's funny. All these people say, move on, move on. I'm like, you're the one coming in our mentions. We're not going to you. Here's the thing. One thing I won't do. If someone has a pro James Gunn video, I'll go the other way. I won't watch it. I won't engage with it. If someone has a pro James Gunn post, as long as they're not, again, going after other people, again, I won't watch it. I won't engage with it. I'll just scroll the other way and I'll mute the account because I don't care to see that account. And that's okay. People are welcome to do that to my account too. Not offended by that. In fact, that's what I encourage some of these accounts to do if it bothers them so much. But the fact is, especially because some of this backlash just from these weird accounts, a lot of just some kind of saying the same thing over and over again. And it shows we're making noise. We are making noise because people don't try this hard for something that's not happening.
Yep.
And exactly, W. Mir.
Exactly. The freaking music. Oh God. And I'm going to share it, by the way. I created a playlist, a public YouTube playlist of the Man of Steel epic score soundtrack on my YouTube. It's actually public. You can search for it under my screen name, my YouTube. And yeah, iconic. I've been listening to it as I've been trending with all you guys all day long and night long and beyond.
And guys, Josh's his channel is in the description of this video, so check it out. Hit playlist, and you'll find it. But
good, Austin. I love his comment. I blocked and reported the Superman movie. Shout out to the Flash.
Shout out to the Flash for taking down imposter Superman.
Bizarro Superman.
Bizarro Superman.
I don't want to say too much, but yeah.
But yeah, and it's like, again, some people are trying to say that we're being so disrespectful to James Gunn on his big day, but it's like, no, he was not respectful towards us. He took away because here's the thing. Right or wrong, fair or unfair, Gunn had a promise that had to be paid off by the studio because he took over as DC co-head after Henry Cavill was told to announce he was back as Superman. So right or wrong, fair or unfair, he had a responsibility to pay that off. Not only did he not do that, he trolled the fans afterwards. He didn't act respectful for us. Why do we need to act respectful to him? And I'm not even saying fire James Gunn. I'm not even saying boycott this movie. I'm just not interested in this movie. I have zero interest in this movie. Why do I need to hype up a movie that I am not interested in? And this is what I would tell David Ayer, by the way, too. Why do I need to hype up a movie that I am not interested in? I'm interested in Superman. in Henry Cavill Superman. I mean, I'm interested, David Ayer, in your Suicide Squad movie, in your director's cut movie, no matter how many hurdles you're throwing our way. But I don't need to show respect for a guy who's not showing respect for us. I have the saying: respect me, and I will respect you. Don't respect me, and I won't respect you. And yeah, he did. I mean, I know some people are saying he has to eat and yada yada yada. And again, Trey brought up that point yesterday on my watch party for Merry Little Batman. And we don't know what happened there. But David Ayer, quit sucking up to James Gunn. He's your studio head. He had the chance to release your cut. He didn't. Just stop. Okay? And bullshit that he didn't know Creature Commandos was premiering that day. I don't buy that.
I mean, guys, he's yeah. There's proof from the little that I know. I know that's a lot. That was a PR 100%. 100% to tell us you're doing the right thing. Keep going.
Yep, Darth Plato, and I'm gonna actually get a clip of this. Like, I'm not gonna go too far into this because I already discussed with Trey. We already had a conversation about this yesterday. So I'll try to clip that segment though. So be on the lookout for that. But hey, we met him in the middle. We didn't trend for the Ayer cut today. So
we trended bigger for Henry Cavill, in my opinion, because of that.
Yeah, exactly. So join us in the sun, David Ayer. But if you're not going to do that, because again, we don't need to. We are the fans, okay? It's not our job to show respect. Like, we shouldn't disrespect people. I'm not saying go out and disrespect people, but it's not our job to be like, this is this director's big day. We are the fans. We decide what we pay for what we pay for. We decide what we want to pay for with our hard-earned money. I had to work today. It's I love my job, but it's work. It's a long day at work. I'm not going to spend that hard-earned money on some movie I'm not interested in. I shouldn't have to do that. Why should I have to do that?
No one has to do anything. And if you honestly looked at the tea leaves and the big picture, I know you didn't see everything, Bat Dan, but I think Amazon Prime spoke a lot by posting BVS as, hey, BVS is available right now on Amazon Prime. And a lot of the industry, in my opinion, the memes that I've seen, and like Regal Cinemas tweeting certain screen grabs of a trailer, making an iconic character look pathetic and kind of ragging and throwing shade at that version of that character. I'm not seeing a lot of excitement and hype. So you got your chance. We know that you're miserable in this position that you put yourself into by robbing us and being anti-fan. So even though I didn't like it, you get what you deserve. I love that quote. I will say, shout out to Arthur Fleck on that one.
And JMR, Ayer cut cannot become a tax write-off because the movie, they filmed the movie for Suicide Squad, so they can't make some other. Since that footage was technically used for Suicide Squad, they can't just use it for a tax write-off. But look, exactly. I hope to see the Ayer cut still, but I can only put so much.
Well,
at this point, there's other battles that I have.
I think regardless, fans are gonna like Zach said. Zach has the perfect point. Fans are gonna do what they're gonna do, and I love that quote from Deadshot. I'm gonna get you there. I'm gonna drag your ass so I have to. And I think that's what we as a fandom are gonna continue to do. When we get met with opposition, we're gonna do the opposite, and we're gonna continue to rebel.
And I guess, Josh, what are your thoughts and just other thoughts on this campaign backlash that we've been facing?
I think it's just a lot of PR talk, and I think that it shows. In a way, I know a lot of people have feelings about what David tried to do at the last minute yesterday. it's pretty obvious. Once again, we know what, like, just how as we know that James Gunn fired Henry Cavill, we know that David got slap of the wrist and told. And I honestly, just my own theory, I think that a lawsuit was probably threatened, because think about a lot of people we know as fans, we're studying the stocks, right? We know how in the hole WBD is, right? And we know that their own man in the chair, Zaslav, Axeman, Lava Man, Mikey Sutton used to call him, just sold. He just supported #sell, basically, and abandoned ship, sharing all those shares of WBD stock. So I think I actually don't get pissed at that. I think that was coded language to say, I have to say this, but you guys are you're causing a ruckus. And I don't think David was as smart as Zach, and I think David was more blindsided about what was happening to his cut than Zach was. I think Zach knew the whole time because he was involved with when they were trying to make 2 versions of the movie. Zach has said this. He said the studio producer, a certain producer with a baseball cap, would be on to oversee the studio mandated scenes. And then Zach was like, oh, well, I'm just going to, when they leave, shoot another version, my version, which was the Snyder cut. And Zach was smart enough to have those in his possession. So technically they were, his property. I don't think David really did that. And if you look at the big picture, his wife was doing it too. So I think that they probably had a talking to, like, hey, we're so desperate as WBD that we need to sue you. So you need to stop right now. And I think that he had to, do what he had to do. And we know that Hollywood is like that, right? And I kind of saw that as translation. We are pissing somebody off over there in those offices. Sky has talking about it, and it shows how amazing we are as a fandom. And the sense of the general audience is also, in my opinion, this trailer came out as pretty lackluster, in my personal opinion. I've talked to, some of the close homies about how I'm in a group chat of Comic-Con people, who I would consider a majority are mostly MCU Marvel fans. The trailer seems to be pretty unimpressive to majority, other than 2 people in that group going back and forth about it today, who brought it up late in the day. And of course, were very pissed off when I showed the screenshots about what was trending on top of that announcement, because they were obviously gun stands, right? Those 2 people out of the 100 people in that group. So definitely the minority. And I think that the powers that be are scrambling because they know that it ain't hitting like this.
I see why that's coming up very soon. Just the question you asked actually tied to a topic, so that's why I didn't address it right away. But it is coming up. Don't worry. But exactly, and I mean, the thing is, again, with Ayer, we'll never really know what happened to that. We all have theories about what will happen, but I think, again, we'll see the Ayer cut when Cell happens. That's how we'll see it. But here's the way I look at it at this point. I say the Ayer cut should be the thing we get next because it's already filmed, but at this point, I'm like, at least there's time for it if we get other stuff first because it's already filmed. So we don't have to worry about actors getting older. We don't have to worry about actors not wanting to do the role anymore. We don't have to worry about it. I mean, obviously, if actors die, there's other and more important things. But, point is, that movie already exists. That movie's filmed, so whatever happens with that. But again, that's why I don't completely judge Ayer, because there's other stuff that could happen with that. But the fact is, Josh, as you said, we're rattling cages. Backlash is happening. And so there's hope. There is hope right now. And CY98 had a question about, because CY98 was concerned that it's been longer for a sequel announcement for Zack Snyder's Justice League than the fight for the Snyder Cut. So now, that leaves the question, do we have hope for the main arc, which is ZSJL 2 and 3, or equivalent of, I'm not getting into semantics of maybe it's one movie, maybe it's a TV series, whatever, until a deal is made and it actually comes out. As far as I'm concerned, at this present moment, it is ZSJL 2 and 3, Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3, filmed back to back, until we hear otherwise. So, I guess, Josh, after all this, do you have hope that we're going to see the main arc?
Of course. I was wearing it earlier, so maybe might as well just put it back on screen. Do I have this? Of course I have this. Because this is not going anywhere. I mean, Zack changed the story from 5 years in the future to 10 years in the future for a reason. The Nightmare arc, right?
Why would he
Basically,
even do
foretelling that, hey, this is going to take a little longer than I want it to, but I'm willing to wait and hold out. And I think this cast, and you see who's basically said certain things, certain Oscar-winning director, actor Ben Affleck, absolutely not. You know, these people talk, right? You know, Hollywood is a town of talk, and they share. They all know what's up. They talk to Zack. They're friends. They're artists. They're all collaborators, and they have a certain integrity that the Man of Steel, Superman, has. So because they're so bonded in their philosophy, we've seen, shout out to Skywalker and Leon and other fans who have gone in person and met Zack and his team and had conversations with Debbie Snyder and Wes and DJ. You know, like, it's obvious that these people love each other because they know each other and what each other stands for. And I think, until we hear otherwise, that there's no stopping us. Zack told us in Skywalker the Jedi's, shout out to him's legendary drop that he has, the fans, they seem to win. And Zack is telling us, you guys can do it. Keep fighting. And I think we did show a message today, and we need to continue. Don't stop hashtagging. Don't stop engaging. Get everything still trending. I honestly, you know, obviously we're in hashtag sell. Me, how I feel right now, seeing anything else besides that hashtag Superman trend is a win, in my opinion. I just love the fact that they're scrambling when other stuff is trending rather than their stuff, right? So I see the scrambling. I see, you know, yes, the mandated kiss the ring. And that makes me, that galvanizes me, honestly, because that tells me people are scared. People are scared. And we are making we're Superman coming down with the red eyes, and they're Steppenwolf looking pathetic, mother. And we are dominating them with one punch. And yeah, I have hope, and I will be continuing to rock out with you guys.
Exactly. And here's the thing, though, with the whole 10 years later thing, what's great with Zack's arc is it works as a 5-film arc. It works those 5 movies together. You don't need an extended universe. You just need those 5 films. Now, I mean, granted, I kind of say you kind of need the Batfleck movie because of that ZSJL post-credit scene, or not really a post-credit scene, but you know what I mean. But that's, I mean, really, other than that, though, it's just those 2 films. That's a complete arc right there. That's a complete Superman-centric arc that Zack would film back to back. And it was Jamar said he could do exactly this for when Netflix gets the rights, he could do this exact model. Film 2 movies back to back with director's cuts. Have PG-13 3-hour versions of ZSJL 2 and 3, and then have the R-rated 4-hour versions. So you could, I mean, Zack could do exactly that, because that was, I mean, regardless how people felt about the studio cuts of Rebel Moon, it got numbers, it got engagement. So Zack could do that exact thing again. And with Henry Cavill, I know Henry Cavill's busy. I know he has all these other projects right now. But again, as I said, it's up to him to figure out his schedule. This is one more production to finish his story, to properly finish his story as Superman. And that's why I love the Cell campaign, because Henry Cavill has all these other projects. And the main ask is ZSJL 2 and 3. That's the main ask of the campaign. So Cavill will just need one more production to finish the main arc while he's doing all these other projects. And again, that's not up to figure out his schedule. That's up to him to figure out. That's up to Netflix or Warner Brothers or Amazon or whomever to make a deal that makes Cavill agree to do it. That's up to them and Zack Snyder. That's up to them to figure that out. That's not up to us to figure out. But I absolutely think that, especially seeing how this is trending today, Warner Brothers notices this. Netflix notices this. They are seeing this right now. There is no way that they're not going like, hey guys, this people want to see this. People want to see the story finish. And especially because, again, it's a Justice League story, not a Superman story. Warner Brothers is desperate for cash. Their stocks are dropping. They don't have a choice, guys. Like, there's a certain point that selling is going to be needed.
Selling's already started.
Yeah, I mean, Gal posted too. That's the thing. Gal posted. But Affleck didn't share details about his script at Full Circle for some reason. Ezra Miller's rocking that Flash ring.
Hell, and Wayne T. Carr supported Haircut recently too. So I think that, things are people talk.
Exactly.
Yep. Yes, it did.
This absolutely can happen. I firmly believe this will happen because all the pieces are coming into play right now. And here's the thing, even though people sucks that it takes place, Zack had to go do 10 years later instead of 5. Here's the way I look at it. That's in universe. That's in timeline, 10 years of the Justice League existing with Batman. In universe, to me, that's a better timeline for the Justice League being formed than 5 years. That's my opinion, though, with that. So there is some, but again, you were bringing that up. Why did Zack change that? If he's not doing it anymore, why did he change it? He could have just said it was going to take place 5 years later. He's like, no, now it takes place 10 years later. What do you mean now it takes place 10 years later? You're doing it? Exactly. And as we met Zack. I met Sophia Boutella, who signed my Cell shirt. So, I mean, DC. If Netflix buys DC, and that merger gets approved quick enough, that'd be great too. Then we're definitely getting everything we asked for if that happens. Mm-hmm. So, but. And that's a good point. Exactly. Like Zack's ideas have evolved. So, and that's a good.
Because Nightmare Scene was not epilogue was not in Snyder Cut originally. So we got so much more, that iconic Batman versus Joker dialogue with Deathstroke and the Nightmare League and Superman, red eyes and all.
So this absolutely will happen. This absolutely can and will happen. And now, hope for Man of Steel 2. This one is a little bit trickier because this is a solo Superman movie. There's a lot of push for Henry Cavill. It takes a lot more of Henry Cavill's time, and there's another Superman movie coming out. So I'm not going to lie. I do think this one is more challenging, and I don't think it's necessary to complete the main story. But I think it's definitely better for the story if we can get that Man of Steel 2. That's my opinion. Because I want to see that. I want to see Man of Steel 2. I want to see him fight Brainiac with Cyborg. And I guess, Josh, what's your thoughts on hope for Man of Steel 2?
The symbol doesn't mean doubt. It means hope, right? And so, of course, I have hope for it. I have hope for the 5-movie arc that Zack had dedicated, right? Because we just want the conclusion of that. Now, do I want more? Obviously, because I think ultimately Zack was going for the ultimate big bad with Darkseid. And in my opinion, after you go to Darkseid, then it's hard to go back to that's an epic threat. We saw how an entire league had trouble taking on one new god of Steppenwolf, let alone the other side of that portal having Darkseid, Desaad, Granny Goodness. We know the female Furies are part of the universe, confirmed by Zack. Lashina, Mad Harriet, Stampa. probably who knows who else? Calabac, more than likely. So if the league had trouble with one new god, the Armada is going to be epic. So I thought, going with Darkseid, I was like, damn, I want to see Brainiac. I want to see Metallo. I want to see, but that wasn't in the cards for Zach's plan. Do I want to see that? Well, were there other ideas and movies from the Mission Impossible director with Green Lantern? Yes, there were other stories and things that we have not heard about yet. So who knows? Maybe those can somehow come about. But we have to go for the big first. We have to go for the man to have his arc. The story is not finished. We can't jump, right? As much as I love the Black Adam post-credit scene, last time we saw our Superman, he had obviously evolved, right? So we know at the end of Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, he was still in the black suit. Therefore, that story needs to be resolved on how he gets to that classic red and blue suit that Zack has as a part of his storyboards for Justice League 3. Justice League 3 is the Superman movie where not only does Superman lead the Justice League, he leads the world as a Justice League. And I think, once you see that, then that will give the appetite for more of that Superman, the Superman that everyone wanted to see and saw in the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. They got impatient. Could freaking wait for Zack to cook. But now look what you're getting. Baloney. So I continue to have hope because I ain't eating baloney. I'm eating a Snyder steak.
It's what you said, Josh, is that like the appetite for more. When ZSJL 2 and 3 is successful, you don't think Netflix will want to do more? You don't think that they're going to be like, hopefully we get that Batfleck movie first because Batfleck's supposed to die at the end of ZSJL 3, but if we don't, they don't think they'll want to do that Batfleck movie. They won't want to do Man of Steel 2. I know Henry Cavill wanted to do Man of Steel 2 first because he wanted to do the hero of Superman before he succumbed to the anti-life equation. But unfortunately, things happen, things evolve, things change. And if Henry Cavill still gets to do his Man of Steel 2 at some point, I'm sure he'll be happy to do it, even if it's after. Because here's the thing, too. After, you get to see the payoff to that arc. So we see him become Superman, the classic Superman that we all know and love, and then we get to see a movie with that Superman. Sign me up. Yet Brainiac who comes back because now there's a power vacuum after Darkseid's defeated. There's possibilities here. There's possibilities with this. And again, we ask for everything and take what Netflix can give us. That's always how it's done. But at the end of the day, and yeah, exactly. Zack left it on a cliffhanger. Why did he do that? He could have ended it not on a cliffhanger. So
yes, sir.
We just have to fight for what we want to see. Fight for what we want to see. That's what we do as fans. This can happen. And I believe, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? For all we know, this other DC may not do as well. And maybe they might be more desperate for more content. Not that that needs to happen for us to get what we're asking for, but that's just one avenue down that possibility. Henry Cavill might have a gap in his schedule and be like, hey, Man of Steel 2. Maybe Zack, here's the other possibility, Josh. Maybe Zack Snyder might film 3 movies back to back. Man of Steel 2, ZSJL 2, ZSJL 3, because he was going to do a Man of Steel 2 before the studio made him do BVS. That could also happen. So there's lots of possibilities here for Man of Steel 2. So just keep fighting. And this kind of leads to the question, can Superman be beautiful at Christmas? Can this happen? Can we get our Christmas miracle? Can we get Superman? And Josh, what's your thoughts on this?
We have our Superman at Christmas time, and it's beautiful seeing the miracle that us as a fandom has caused throughout the industry. We have resolve. We don't forget. We don't forgive. I've been saying that. I've been saying, admittedly, the same thing in my tweets because it needs to be heard. Like, we stand on 10 toes, like Austin said in the chat earlier. We're not just going to give us anything you put in front of us. take a bucket of piss and call it Granny's peach tea. I'm not going to drink it. Batman's not going to drink it. The fandom is not going to drink it. If you're drinking it, give props to you. All right, that's you. You do you. No judgment. People do all kind of weird things that I'm not into. But I think that we as a fandom have shown with our reception, with our engagement, with our discourse online. I don't think people honestly are being overly harsh, because we know from the articles and the director himself admitting the amount of pressure he's under. And guess what? Nobody put you into that position other than yourself. So I don't really feel bad for you when you called us fractious and you're seeing how freaking united we actually are because of how passionate we are for powerful art, how rare it is in Hollywood 2024 right now. And I'll be honest, I've talked to you about this, I think, Dan. The majority of movies, there have been some, but comparatively to other calendar release years, this has been a kind of meh movie slate, in my opinion, 2024, because it's hard to get powerful art nowadays from certain writers, producers, directors. When you get something that is epic, it's funny how Hollywood tries to squash that epicness, right? And audiences, we're different now. This is not 1978 anymore. This is not 2006 anymore. Post 2013, this man, Zachary Edward Snyder, they gave us an ideal to fight for. That inspired a certain Jedi named Skywalker to think outside the box and to restore hope, just like the symbol represents, with a certain hashtag, and to reignite us as passionate fans with the help of Apex Leon of the New Geeks, with the help of the good Austin, the Flash, with the help of El Necron, El Boogie. And so many people along the way have contributed and are still fighting to this day in one form or another. And I think that that Superman, Man of Steel idea still lives on with this fandom. And it makes me so proud to be a part of. And that is why Superman is beautiful at Christmas to me.
Kind of make me tear up a little bit. And Sin Havoc will try to stay on because I know you have that thing you're trying to send. I don't see it in my chat, but anyway, and that's just how I feel, is that there is a chance for a Christmas miracle here, is that Christmas is a powerful time for a lot of people. It's a great emotions for a lot of us, but we can have our Christmas miracle. It's Christmas time, and we're coming together to fight for something that we love, and that alone is powerful. To me, right now, Superman already is beautiful at Christmas time, and it's not because of that other trailer, because of this Superman right here, because we came together to show unity for something that we love, for something that means the world to us. We did that as fans, and this Superman absolutely can and will be beautiful at Christmas time again. I firmly believe that, and I'm trying to somewhat keep going on because I'm trying to find Sin Havoc's post, but I don't see it, so...
I want to say something in the chat. W. Mir, he mentioned about Sonic 3. I actually saw Sonic 3 on Tuesday, and it's very funny. I mentioned this to some people in a group chat that Sonic 3 actually has Man of Steel references. So hashtag Zack Snyder is the blueprint. And that's why you should go see Sonic 3, because Zack Snyder's the blueprint. That's all I got to say. Once you see it, you'll get it. Trust me. And Green Lantern 2011. There's a lot of DC references in Sonic 3. They have a collaboration coming out with DC and Sonic the Hedgehog, which is pretty epic, the Justice League. So check it out.
That's great. I'm glad you had a good time with that movie. And there's so many movies I need to see right now. But I'll definitely have to try to check that one out. But at the end of the day, just fight for what we love. And I hope honestly that when we do get Man of Steel 2, if or when we do, I hope that movie takes place during Christmas time. I hope that element is stayed in there because I think after everything we fought for, nothing would be more perfect than having that movie take place during Christmas time. For Superman to be beautiful at Christmas time. And okay, there we are. Sid Havoc finally sent me the video. So we'll see what he says. So
I don't know if Netflix. I know you said that you wouldn't be back except for The Dark Knight Returns, but I don't know if Netflix finally has it and you could hypothetically continue. Would you be open to it?
If Netflix had owned the rights to the to my the DC characters in my extended universe, of course I would absolutely whatever. Yeah. No question.
I would be very happy.
Yeah.
I will be very happy. And about superhero movies, I have to ask you because you are one of the biggest figures in the industry. Do you feel that these movies are losing popularity? Because I think that why? Precisely why?
Well, I mean, we've been watching superhero movies every weekend for 15 years or something like that, right? So it's not outrageous that there is that the graph is gonna fluctuate, yeah, and so I just think that I don't think by any means that the I don't think the superhero movie is completely like done. I think that, but I do feel like there's an onus on the filmmakers and on the people who are the guardians of this IP to be sure that they are bringing audiences the highest quality material they can, because now this audiences are very sophisticated. They know they know it. They know the stories. Now you need to surprise them again.
Jack still seems interested in doing DC. And he's even hinting is that evolving his story. So thank you, Sin Havoc.
It's interesting. Thank you. Shout out to Sin Havoc that the language that was used, right? Something that goes, unnoticed. Specifically, the people who are the guardians of this IP. Just saying. Zack's the GOAT. So shout out to Zack Snyder. 1 in a million.
Exactly, Josh. Shout out to Zack Snyder, and thank you guys, everyone, for this Christmas miracle we had, for this trending event, for this beautiful time of year. And now, what to do going forward? So after today, what are we doing going forward? Everything we're doing. Sell Zia Shale to Netflix, sell Snyderverse to Netflix. That's what we're doing. What do you say to that, Josh?
Oh yeah. We're not stopping regardless. Like, honestly, just me in particular, and everyone can feel how they want to feel about other campaigns. I support everything. I think it makes the most sense to support this particular hashtag, this campaign. I think this group of rebels is the one accomplishing wonders and really getting the ball rolling. We saw that with the Aircut 12/5, right? That was our trending day, but everyone else saw us trending on the day that Creature Commandos was dropping, and they joined into our trending day. And in my opinion, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, more the merrier. Room for more. And then they continued to trend that the next day, their original trending day, right? So I think that it shows that we can do anything when we're united. And regardless of what a director says about fan campaigns, which I do think he was told to say because he had to, for fear of being sued out the butt for sharing content that wasn't his. Not everyone's like Zack Snyder. I think that we as fans should not give up. We have hope. Regardless, we're going to get stuff done. And I think that Zack Snyder is the blueprint to show us the way to how to get that done. And I like to unite with like-minded people who are like Zack Snyder. And the people that I see who are like Zack Snyder are over here with #sell. ZSJL to Netflix, #sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Shout out to the homie, the good Austin. I actually didn't know what the hashtags were supposed to be because as we've been trending Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't know what we were going to do today. And Austin gave me the heads up because it was technically mixing the hashtags. I was like, did I miss something? And he was like, yeah, I think that makes sense. And I was like, all right. Shout out to Austin he quoted it earlier, let chaos reign. And we did. And it's raining all over social media. And I love to see it. And it's a Christmas miracle. So continue to fight. Never compromise. Not even in the face of Armageddon.
Exactly, Josh. And it's important to come together. Like the Batfleck movie did their trending event on Friday the 13th. Another great trending event where me personally, I wrote Make the Batfleck movie out, sell ZSJL to Netflix, sell Snyderverse to Netflix, and the Batfleck movie count always appreciates that. Even if we don't use the Make the Batfleck movie hashtag, they appreciate us participating in their trending event. And that's the stuff we need right here. Working together, participating in other trending events, just doing it our way. But that's how we're going to do this. Support everything, support the trending events. I say for Cell, the next big one is likely Valentine's Day, 2/14 Day. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm sure that Sky will have something planned. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do going forward. Just keep showing what we're interested in. Don't show interest for stuff we're not interested in, right? Do not do that. Just show support for what we love. And don't show support for what we don't love. That's what we do going forward. And speaking of trending events, there's actually one trending event that we're not going to use cell hashtags. No cell hashtags this particular day. Rebel Moon Anniversary Training Event, organized by the Curly Ray, aka Rebel Moon Theory. So Rebel Moon hashtags this day. I don't remember what the exact hashtags are. Actually, let me just check on that real quick.
Rebel Moon and #Happy Birthday Rebel
Moon. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to pull this up. Is it written somewhere that I can pull that up, or?
I can show you. Well, it's on my phone, but
I see it. I see it. I just wanted to.
Jimmy Man for 3 days away, 12/22/2024.
Yes. So Rebel Moon. Happy Birthday, Rebel Moon. 1 year anniversary training event, December 22nd. Show support for Zack Snyder's current IP on Netflix. Show support for Rebel Moon. And that's what we're going to do because 2 reasons. One is we support our favorite directors. We support his other work. And especially if Cavill's going to be in Rebel Moon Part 3, our Superman. But also, the high tide raises all ships. What I love about the Cell campaign is supporting Cell raises Rebel Moon, and supporting Rebel Moon raises Cell. The two are a yin and yang. So it's very important that day that we use those Rebel Moon hashtags. That's the one in a few days I'm going to say no Cell hashtags. No Cell hashtags that day, just Rebel Moon hashtags that particular day. So no, because I think it's going to be a great day. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. And I'm going to try to do some stream that day. I don't have anything planned right now. I have no idea, but I want to kind of do something that day. So be on the lookout for that. But any final words, Josh?
I'm going to give a little preview since it's a Christmas miracle and y'all made me so proud. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to give a tease. But I was so inspired. I don't know if you can read that.
Let me blow you up.
1/6 figure, and on the corner of the box. And Santa came early in the Herrea household, so I'll have to plan. Maybe Superman has come home because Superman is beautiful at Christmas. I will be doing an unboxing when I have the time. My first ever hot toy unboxing. My first ever hot toy. And of course, it's Henry freaking Cavill Superman and Ben Affleck Nightmare Batman from Zack Snyder Justice League. So we'll talk about Dan. I know somebody was asking about a Christmas stream or something. So maybe we'll have to try to do something and have a little unboxing or show and tell, because I'm sure you're getting some amazing Christmas presents as well.
Yeah, well, I put collectibles on my Christmas wish list because I'm an adult. I just buy whatever I want. So it's hard to have stuff for ideas for Christmas. So I guess, Josh, you just answered this question. What you have coming up on your channel? I guess an unboxing.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can coordinate it. If not, yeah, look on my timeline, follow me. I never say that. So I guess if you want to know if I'm going to do one, go and follow me or like my channel, and I'll let y'all know when I'm going to be doing an unboxing. I think it's time to celebrate the epic Zack Snyder Superman in his black suit that no one, like Bishop said, no one could never do like Zack Snyder. Shout out to my partner. I can't wait to celebrate the Christmas season with you guys and continue to rock out with hashtag sell 2024, 2025, and beyond.
Exactly, Josh. Exactly. Continue to rock out this Christmas season and show support for the projects we love, for Henry Cavill Superman, for the Snyderverse, for the DC Snyderverse to be specific, for Rebel Moon and the Armyverse. Show support for all that. And for Zach, Warhammer, LAPD, UFC movie, show support for all that stuff. So
to answer real quick the question, technically, so I'm a Black Friday shopper. The retail value of the Nightmare Batman and Superman on Hot Toys on Sideshow is $525. Technically, I got mine free. Because I'll go ahead and show it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I bought the Iron Man from Endgame. It was on sale and I had a coupon. So I bought this and I got the more expensive. I spent like $300 something on this and got something $525 completely free. Thank you, Santa Claus. So
where's socks? Where's socks right now? Where's socks? I want to see. So
it's Robert Downey Jr. from the Snap from Endgame.
Love it. Love it. And thank you again, Josh, for coming on. This was a really great discussion. And coming up on this channel right now, I want to try to do something on the 22nd for the Rebel Moon Trending Day. We'll see, though. It's Christmas time. It's a busy time of year. I will get some clips up, and I'm working on my Batman Returns Remastered review. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm now only 4 subscribers away. Not 5 anymore, now 4. So please subscribe. So close to 500. And guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great discussions such as these. And after I say the famous line, please stay around because I'm going to play the teaser trailer one more time. So lastly, if this is my last video before Christmas Day, have a bat-tastic Christmas. Superman is beautiful at Christmas.
Yes, he is. Hashtag sell.